everyone. Welcome to another episode of John and Wendy Explain the World. I am John the Outlaw Rocha, joined as always by the great Wendy Lee Zaney. How are you, Wendy?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Excited for another day here with you to talk about all the stuff going on over the last few days in the world of geek, stuff that's trending on social media, recommendations, things that we're reviewing. And also, we're welcoming a guest later on to help us review In the Heights. So excited for that as well. What do you got? What's the shirt?
This was me last night watching the film.
Oh, I'm sure. Me too.
And then like Kleenex because I was crying. This shirt is from Jordan Dene. It's a small business that do like awesome graphic prints on shirts, and got to show off the Spidey.
That's pretty awesome. I dig the look.
Thank you.
Nice and unique for sure.
Who's on yours?
This I got from the Bruce Lee collection, like the official Bruce Lee collection. They sell these shirts there. You've got the official, there it is, the official moniker. And then, of course, at the bottom of the shirt, they got the tag as well. But yeah, this is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with Bruce Lee from Game of Death when they were shooting that together. So I saw that shirt and I was like, I got to get it. And I like supporting the Bruce Lee Foundation because it's the people actually connected to Bruce Lee. So I've got a couple of shirts from there, and I might get a couple more. I saw the other day. There's a great Jeet Kune Do shirt that I was like, oh, I got to get that shirt. So I will be hopefully wearing it at some point for sure.
Legit.
But thanks to everybody who's joining us here live for this episode of John and Wendy Explain the World. We appreciate it madly. Got to get into, as we said, so much from the world of geeks, some trailers, some He-Man stuff, some Aquaman 2 news, some Loki stuff, and get into some issues with Starbucks, get into some Cowboy Bebop news, Critical Role news as well. And as we said, going to be reviewing In the Heights later on. We'll introduce the guest as it comes up when we're going through this thing. So, and please remember, the Streamlabs and Super Chats are open as we go on through this thing. Make sure you send in the Streamlabs or Super Chats to support the show, support Wendy and I doing this every week, every Friday. It's a new show in the Outlaw Nation. Would love to have you guys sending in your support and your questions and your comments for us to read on air. All right, let's jump into this thing. Wendy, the first thing on our list here on our rundown is this Masters of the Universe trailer. Talk to me. What did you think? It's from showrunner Kevin Smith. The animation was incredible. It was about a minute and a half. We got some great voiceover work from Mark Hamill in that thing as Skeletor. It's an incredible cast from top to bottom. And I tell you, I was on the fence, Wendy, but after I saw this trailer, my mind went straight into the stratosphere of excitement for what this thing might be. What did you think when you saw it?
I think there's no better producer for something like He-Man other than Kevin Smith. Is like one of the biggest nerds alive. And I love that this series right here is picking up right where the 80s series have left off. And we're getting this like reboot, almost 40 years later. The cast is incredible. I love that it's the original voice actor who voiced Skeletor is actually still involved, but he's playing someone else because he, I think it's like, I actually don't remember, but Alan Oppenheimer is the voice actor's name. So I think it's kind of cool. And I kind of wondered how come he didn't want to take on the role of Skeletor, or he's like, well, I've done that. So like, let me try something else.
Right.
But the trailer is fantastic.
Or they mention Mark Hamill and you go, you know what? I'll step aside. Let Mark Hamill have it.
Is Mark Hamill.
It's Mark Hamill. It's Mark
just let him do what Mark Hamill does best. It's amazing. I had so much fun watching this trailer. Like it pumped me up with the music. This, the logo looks a little retro. Our friend Tiffany Smith is also a voice. Sarah Michelle Gellar is a voice. Lena Headey is a voice. Like this, it's so exciting. The only thing that kind of was missing for me is like I wish we got a glimpse of She-Ra. And I know she's got her own show on Netflix. There was 5 seasons of it, but that She-Ra was much younger. And I and I'm not saying like, it has to be She-Ra and He-Man always. I just like to see her appear like maybe one episode.
Yeah.
At the very least, just because I want to see. And then plus, He-Man's got this awesome transformation montage, as they should. And I kind of want to see She-Ra's too. So, but other than that, I had such a fun time watching this trailer that I watched it back a couple of times. It's a lot that's happening.
Yeah.
Use of magic, like Skeletor, calling forth that giant fist that they're, and they face off against each other. I can't wait. And I like that with animation. Like I have such a deep love for animated shows because I think there's just so much more you can do and show with animation, especially when it comes to like arcane and magic and tech and things like that. There's just some things that you're able to achieve. You can achieve anything on paper because if you can draw it, you can make it. That's sometimes not able to translate as well to live action. So I think this is the perfect choice. I am tuning in 100% for Masters of the Universe.
Yeah, this thing's going to be released on July 23rd on Netflix, and there's also going to be an after show after they release the series on Netflix. An after show about 25 minutes with them talking to the cast and what it was like bringing this all to life. You know, I have a special affinity for this one, also, you know, because Kevin Smith, I'm a fan of Kevin, but also my friend Tim Sheridan is one of the writers on the show. As you mentioned, our friend Tiffany Smith is on this. Our number one pick from the Schmodown this year in the faction, Griffin Newman, is in this, and also a number of other voice actors that we are excited about. As you mentioned, Lena Headey, Liam Cunningham from Game of Thrones in this. Chris Wood is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
He-Man, just from this clip, he's perfect in the voice. Sarah Michelle Gellar's in this thing. Stephen Root is in this thing. So many people involved in all of this from top to bottom that it gets me very excited to see what we're going to get. And it says after a cataclysmic battle between He-Man and Skeletor, Eternia is fractured and the Guardians of Grayskull are scattered. And after decades of secrets tore them apart, it's up to Teela to reunite the broken band of heroes and solve the mystery of the missing sword of power in a race against time to restore Eternia and prevent the end of the universe. So this isn't them all just coming together from the first episode. This seems like it's going to be a story about them slowly being brought together, getting over maybe issues that have been lingering between them, and then coming back together to be a team again to fight against a greater evil. Kind of like that. I kind of like that overall.
That description makes me think that this isn't, even though, you know, everybody knows He-Man, this may not be a He-Man centered show.
Well, yeah. It's
you mentioned, I think Teela's going to have a big part in this.
Yeah. It's a great point you bring up, Wendy. It says Masters of the Universe, not He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. You know, it's not Gloria Estefan and the Miami Sound Machine. It's just the Miami Sound Machine. That's what I'm saying. So I love it for that and that approach that they're taking here. All right, so yes, July 23rd is when it's coming out. So keep your eyes peeled. I'm sure we'll have more trailers before that thing drops, and hopefully you and I will get some early links to that and take a look at it as well.
Fingers crossed.
Sure. Yeah, let us know what you guys think. Send in some Streamlabs super chats. What do you think of the animation? Do you like the look of it? Do you like the feel of it? Let us know.
How many people had He-Man action figures growing up?
True. How many people cosplayed as He-Man? How many of y'all cosplayed as a member of the Masters of the Universe at any convention at all? Let us know. And if you want to send in some pictures, send in some pictures. I want to see. We want to see your creativity for sure. All right, let's move on to our second story here. Wendy, Aquaman 2 has a title. It's Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. James Wan posted this to his Instagram this morning. Breaking news this morning. All right, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Wendy Lee, your thoughts?
I love it. I think this just kind of is going to further the story of, you know, Arthur Curry kind of reclaiming the throne. The reluctant king, I like to call him, because, you know, he was so like in the Indians, both in Justice League and in Aquaman, he's just kind of like, no more responsibility. I'm gonna walk away from this. I don't want the trident. I don't want the suit of armor, until he had to. What I am really hoping for this, because it was such a, just like, here is, you know, here is the tagline for, or whatever the official title for Aquaman 2, but literally about nothing else. So are we going to get more Black Manta? Because that's kind of what I want to know.
Right. Yeah.
Is he returning?
Yeah. Yahya Abdul Mateen the second, little extra Yahya Abdul, little flavor there into the film would be great.
Yeah. Apparently Siri wants to know more about Black Manta as well.
I'm down. And I liked it's and the Lost Kingdom. So that seems to me, it feels like an Indiana Jones title. It feels to me like there's this adventure. What is the Lost Kingdom? What are they going to find at the Lost Kingdom? Why are they going towards the Lost Kingdom? What are they looking to explore here? And what will they discover that will be a new challenge for Aquaman? And for Mira, is it Mira? Yeah, is that her name? Is that Amber Heard's character?
Mira. Yeah. Amber Heard, and Orem is coming back with Patrick Wilson, reprising his role. So it's going to be interesting. Like, I think James Wan showed us a little bit, especially like, you remember how they were going to do a whole spin-off on the Trench?
Right.
I think there's a lot to explore. So I think your analogy of like this kind of is giving you a little bit of an Indiana Jones feel. I think you're on the money there, because this gives me hope that we'll see more of Atlantis and just more of adventure, and who knows what character is going to show up in this one. Aqualad? Right. Probably not.
There have been rumors, but every second film I think we've seen recently from DC tries to expand the world a little bit more. Certainly Dark Knight did that with Joker coming in. We saw with Batman v Superman, they brought Batman into Superman and Lex Luthor and all of that. Wonder Woman 1984 tried to expand the world out a little bit more, as well as they were in the 80s. So certainly they try to take on more and more things to kind of flesh out the universes they exist in. So I imagine, although it's the 7 Seas, we saw a lot of the world of Aquaman in that first movie, because it's a pretty long movie. I wonder what we're going to get, or what new things we're going to get, or if it's a more centralized, focused thing, singular adventure. It could be very interesting as well, for sure.
I just need more of Jason Momoa and his like hair, whatever it is that he does. He does this with the hair, hairography. That's all I need.
Oh yeah, he looks good with that hair. I'm not going to deny.
He does.
Sure. So we'll see. That's just the title. We got a long way to go, Wendy, until we see anything from that. But it's nice to see that's going to come out soon. All right, let's move on. What do we got? A trailer, I think, dropped here, Wendy. What do you got for that?
For the eyes of Tammy Faye. So this stars Jessica Chastain and Andrew Garfield, based on Tammy Faye Baker and her first husband, Jim Baker. And sort of, they were kind of known as these like televangelists, and which then eventually turned into, the husband like made it into this whole like money scam thing. But then she sort of became the scapegoat of it. And what I took away from this trailer, because I honestly don't remember any of this. This happened in like the 70s or the 80s. So I don't remember. Maybe like the later on years of Tammy Faye's life, I remember maybe seeing her pop up here and there when the controversy was like at its height. But reading from a couple of articles, I think it was with People magazine, Jessica Chastain, who is also serving as a producer on this, did 10 years of research on Tammy Faye. And if you watch this trailer, her voice is, she certainly studied the voice. She's got some makeup on to kind of change her face to look more similar to Tammy Faye's. And it's incredible. Like Jessica Chastain, like when she goes out to do something, she dives into 200%. And as you can tell from this trailer, so I can already see, we've only seen one trailer, but I can already see either a nod for acting or hair and makeup for sure. Like it's very transformational.
Yeah, I agree with you. I did a trailer reaction to this earlier this week because I grew up at a time when Jim and Tammy Faye Baker were huge. I remember them like, constantly being on television, asking for money, getting people to try to double their donations, all of that, talking about crying. That was the height of televangelism, was the 80s and 90s in this country. And they made so much money off what they were doing. And now to see them being explored in this way, it's very, very interesting, because, I mean, it does kind of stroke the ego, doesn't it, to have someone like Jessica Chastain play you? Of course, Tammy Faye did pass away in 2007, so she's not around to see that. But Jim Baker's still alive, and having someone like Andrew Garfield play you, it must be a little bit nice to feel that way. Jim Baker's still doing the televangelism thing himself, but there was so much controversy around this. They took so much money. There was financial improprieties. I like the trailer. My only concern about the trailer is that it might go down that road where we start to forgive her a little bit for the financial impropriety. I don't want to see a wide-eyed Tammy Faye Baker who had no idea anything was going on. And someone mentioned, well, maybe they'll go the I, Tonya route, where you understand the person a bit more, but you don't necessarily forgive the mistakes that they made in those situations. And I'm like, okay, that I can be open to. So I hope that's what it is.
But let me ask you this. Was she not saying that she wasn't knowingly understanding like what was going on there, but I think it kind of turned into she was a little bit against of what they were about. It's just that the people that her husband was involved with, like they basically took control of that situation, and they kind of used her, they kind of fed her to the wolves of the media, and was like, here, you go deal with it.
Right.
Is that the case, or is she less innocent than that?
Yeah, she was certainly up front, Wendy. That's for sure, because she was the one that stood out. You know, Jim Baker's kind of boring looking guy, but Tammy Faye had those like bright colored dresses. She had the eyelashes, but she was always on TV crying for money, like crying, telling people, you got to give. Jesus is coming. You got to give. You know, you got to show the Lord. So if you go back and watch those videos, she's very complicit in trying to get the money. Now,
I see.
Was she aware of the books? Was she aware of some of the grifting that was going on? Was she aware of any of that? I think you got to make up your own mind when you read some of the evidence on it and what have you. But certainly socially, she was very protective of the LGBTQ community. She was very much at the forefront of protecting children. That was a really big thing for her. So there was this very sweet protective side of her that didn't vibe necessarily with the religious right and their approach to things in the 80s and 90s. So in that way, there are avenues to feel a little bit of a redemption feeling for Tammy Faye. So we'll see. But I thought it looks like an excellent trailer. They don't even have a movie poster, Wendy. They dropped the trailer before the movie poster. It's really weird.
I know. They're like, here it is. And I was like, what is this about? Like, literally do not remember seeing Tammy Faye and her husband, you know, doing their shows or whatever on TV. But there's some photos of her, like, especially in the more heavy eye makeup, like that. Like, kind of briefly remember it flashing on TV, but I think I was just too young to understand. So it's interesting to, once the movie comes out, to kind of see that and which angle the movie is going to explore.
Yeah, I think it's funny to see Vincent D'Onofrio as Jerry Falwell. Jerry Falwell is like 5'10". D'Onofrio is like 6'10".
Oh,
so it's like,
I was going to say, he's taller.
Yes, I'm saying the difference in the height is going to be very, very. Maybe they shoot everything with him just sitting down. I don't know. It
Perhaps.
Very curious, man. Yeah. It's going to be interesting for sure.
Well, what's going to work is that they're all tall. Andrew Garfield's tall and Jessica Chastain is tall.
Good points.
They're all tall, so that'll even out.
Yeah, maybe we shall see. But yeah, this one's coming out on September 17th, I think, from Lionsgate. So we'll see. Well, I'm sure we'll get a movie poster eventually, and then we'll get a more full trailer later on down the road from them as well. But look, I'm curious. If nothing else, I'm curious. So we shall see. Wendy, we got some Powerpuff Girls news. What's going on here?
Powerpuff Girls, they are doing some reshoots or rebooting. Obviously, you guys know this is a classic series that we've seen animated, but now they want to do a live action, and there's been some photos that's kind of not leaked, but that's been not official photos. People are get close enough to the set with their like big camera lenses, took some photos of the girls, and it looks like this pilot's going to be doing some reshooting, because I guess after they tested or whatever internally, they assumed that it was too campy and it was nothing like the original. So according to Dove Cameron, who's playing Bubbles, she gave a little bit more of an in-depth situation, and says, and actually I'm not sure if this is her quote, but it is. It is. She tells Entertainment Tonight why it was being reshoot, and she says it's a really big piece of IP, and it's totally very specific, getting it right, making everyone happy, and also making sure that it translates. It's so specific, and to modernize it, make it fit a bunch of different things that don't normally go together. So it's kind of like a puzzle piece. We're removing some elements and we're replacing others. I think the script is going to get another whack, and it's going to be slightly different approach, but everything else is going to stay the same. I kind of like that, to be honest with you. I think Powerpuff Girls, like I grew up watching Powerpuff Girls as well. Like my favorite was Bubbles, and I love Tara Strong, so that totally makes sense. And this is a very specific time because they're not kids anymore. Right. And you are also taking a very, like iconic cartoon look out of cartoon and making it live action. So it is specific tonally, and everything has to fit. And the whole premise is that these girls are a little jaded, a little bitter, that they spent the best of years of their childhood fighting crime, saving the world. So now that they're not really, kind of together as a tight-knit group, what happens now when they need to band together again to save the world again? And I don't mind that approach, and having them age the girls and translate it to live action. But I am happy to know that they are they watched it and they're like, you know what? It's really not working like we thought. So we're just going to do some rewrites. This happens on sets all the time. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I'm just really happy that instead of going, yeah, it's fine, send it out. It looks great. And we have some, really good actresses like portraying the three leads. So it's fine. It'll take care of itself. No, take care of the property. It's a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm of two minds of this because I agree with you in that, if you're going to put this out, why put it out to crash and burn, right? If you take a look at the script didn't work, the live action doesn't work, you want to go back in the studio, or on the set and do some reshoots and get it correct. That's the way you go about it. Certainly a lot of people have said they don't want a live action Powerpuff Girls show. So you're already pushing the boulder up the hill there. And then you saw these costumes that came out. People were tearing the costumes apart. So clearly there were some issues here from the beginning about putting this together. It reminds me a lot of Solo. Like, people were very adamant. They didn't want a Solo standalone movie. They wanted to keep their mystery of Solo. Who could possibly imitate or walk in the steps of Harrison Ford and what have you. And in the end, some people like that movie, some people don't like that movie. And I remember the costumes coming out and the reshoots. That was such a big deal. So hopefully whatever they're doing here comes out in a positive direction. Chloe Bennett, it seemed like an odd choice for her to do this after Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but we'll see, because I thought as the lead of that show, there'd be a better opportunity for her, but maybe she has a kind of affinity for this and wants to push it forward and see what can come out of it. So hopefully for all the three actresses involved, they go back, take a look at what they're doing and come back with something better that they can all rally around and be positive in supporting. We shall see.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know. Maybe Chloe Bennett is a huge Powerpuff Girls fan. Yeah. She was like, absolutely, yes, I have to be Blossom.
Yeah, that's certainly possible. And she's still young, so she's got her, a lot of time left in her career to go and do a bunch of things. Sure. Yeah, here's MK Somber says, Chloe Bennett should be in the MCU, damn it. I know, a lot of
Absolutely.
Give it time, MK. We shall see. All right, ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder to keep sending in some Streamlabs and Super Chats here. Andrew Russell has just sent in a Streamlab very kindly. He says, great seeing both John and Wendy every Friday, a pairing I never thought of doing shows together, but are totally awesome. Oh, thanks, Andrew.
Thank you.
Kind. Yeah. We love doing the show. All right, so let's move on. Oh, I'll let you take this one. Cowboy Bebop. Wendy, please take it away.
Cowboy Bebop. Look, the Netflix Geeked Week is been just all over my feed. Like, I don't even know how to pick topics for the shows that we're doing because there's just so much that's coming out. But I got to talk about Cowboy Bebop because I love the anime. If you haven't watched it, it's awesome. It's available if you want to watch the original Japanese voices with English subtitles, or you can watch the English dubbed one, which is actually pretty good. I don't typically like to watch anime English dub, but this one, I say go ahead and watch it that way because they did a really good job with it. And now they're doing a live action for Netflix with John Cho in the lead as Spike, and they just released a short little cute little teaser, and it has our three lead cast members, and it looks like they were about to get ready to do an interview, but instead they kick in that iconic theme song 3, 2, 1 Let's Jam, and it's announced that the original composer Yoko Kanno, who did the anime soundtrack, is going to be creating the soundtrack for the live action. This couldn't make me more happy just to see John Cho and his glorious Spike-like hair and hearing the songs. I was like, I need to go back and dive into Cowboy Bebop all over again. It's so good.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. Let's take a look again. Look at that hair. Wendy, look at that hair. You gotta love it. Yeah, absolutely. I love the look of this. And the song is so great. We can't play it or else we'll probably get a strike. But the song is so good. I was like so impressed with the sound. I've never seen Cowboy Bebop. Is it only one season? Is that what I saw there? Only one season, or is it longer?
There's only, I think, 13 episods, and then there's a movie.
Wow, that's it.
It's fantastic. Yeah, they don't mess around. You go in and you kind of see what Spike and his crew does, and his ultimate arc and story and journey. Right. It's funny. The way I watched Cowboy Bebop is I actually watched the movie first. Right. Which I don't recommend. I think you should watch the anime first because the anime is better than the movie. But I had gone over to somebody, it was in college, somebody's dorm, and they had the movie on. So I sat down and watched it. And that actually is what got me interested in watching the anime. Wow. And I was like, what's this all about? Like, is there more to this? And they're like, yeah, there's a whole series. And I'm like, oh, well, naturally, I need to explore it. Went home and downloaded and watched. I was like, I am into it. Yeah.
All
fantastic.
Right. Yeah, this looks like a great way to get people on board with it as well. Quick 50 seconds. All three of them kind of really loose and enjoying the music for sure. And then, of course, announcing that he will be coming back to do the song, the music, which is great for all of us. So it's amazing that this one season has captured people's imaginations this much, and the subsequent media that has spawned out of that, and now this live action interpretation. Seems like they're handling it the right way in how they're approaching. It's always great to see John Cho now coming and being the lead in all this kind of stuff after, kind of building his legacy through the Harold and Kumar stuff, then jumping into Star Trek as Sulu, and then all the stuff, and then Searching, which is fantastic, such a damn good movie, and then into this. So great stuff to see overall for him. So keep sending him good vibes for everything's happening. So, all right, let's see if we got any more Streamlabs super chats. Keep sending them in, ladies and gentlemen. The address is there in the description. It's also right above Wendy's head. And let me put it in the chat. I should have done that. Let me put it in the chat real quick and pin it to the chat so you guys can send in some donations or some contributions here for what we're doing. Ask any questions that you want. Wendy and I are always open to answering just about anything. We're not sticks in the mud. We're open to hearing and talking about anything you guys want to ask us about. And there's 92 of you watching us right now live. So please hit that like button, give it some love. And if you're watching it later, and a lot of you do, please leave a comment down below. Wendy and I do read the comments and respond to the ones that we think are fun to respond to. So please give us your thoughts. Let us know what you think about the subjects we're bringing up here. All right,
quick correction corner. Thank you to Maurice who sent this in the chat. There are 26 episodes, not 13, for Cowboy Bebop and you can find it on Hulu.
All right,
go do it. I want to ask you this: when you watch anime, Japanese anime, do you typically watch it with the original audio, or do you watch English? There you go.
I watch it with the original audio, hoping that the people who've done the people who've done the English subtitles are actually subtitling the Japanese audio. This is what frustrated me about Batman Ninja. Batman Ninja, which was fucking gorgeous.
So good.
It was so good.
Yeah.
Batman Ninja does the English subtitles off the English dub, not off the Japanese dub. So they are basically transcribing what's being said in English. And from what I understand, some of the meanings and some of the scenes are not being portrayed adequately. And so I just watched it in the original Japanese without any subtitles and just tried to understand what was happening. Then rewatched it again with the English subtitles on and basically put together the story in my head. And then I read an article comparing the two versions and the differences. So as long as they're subtitling the Japanese audio and bringing those meanings and definitions and intentions out, then great. But if they're subtitling the English audio, the English audio is changing some of the meanings and the vibes, then no thanks. So that's my approach to it. Yeah.
Agree with that.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's good to know the dub and the sub versions are there so I can take a look at either one that I want to and have a little fun with it. All right, let's move on to some Star Wars news here, Wendy. Apparently Mando season 3 is delayed. What's going on there?
Well, it looks like it's not delayed because of there's like drama or anything like that on set. It looks like it's actually just because they are sharing not sharing, but it would essentially be the same LA stage that's currently being used to shoot the Obi-Wan series.
Yeah.
And so you obviously, yes, they're both in the Star Wars universe, but once you dress a set, you dress a set. And from continuity, you can't just be like, well, let me just shoot this real quick. And plus rotating crew and still, operating within COVID procedure and things like that. It's not going to work, which is why the filming of it is being delayed. So they're not currently heading into production because the stages that they want to use is currently being used for another Disney Plus Star Wars show. So I think that is the reason why. And so it looks like potentially season 3 of The Mandalorian is going to begin filming at the end of this year or early 2022,
Right.
and which means this season, then the third season, won't be premiering on Disney Plus until probably later on in 2022, which is, I feel like they kind of maybe had an idea, perhaps, and maybe that's why they're dropping Book of Boba Fett in December this year, and then next year we'll get yet another Star Wars show, and that'll be the season 3 of The Mandalorian, which makes sense to me.
It does. Yeah. And Book of Boba Fett apparently is done shooting, according to Ming-Na Wen. I think according to Ming-Na Wen, she posted something about it being done shooting. So that, at least that's done. So, you know, for those of you who are kind of freaking out, we're not going to get The Mandalorian for a little bit. It's okay. There's going to be a lot of Star Wars shows, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be overwhelmed and inundated with the amount of Star Wars shows that are going to be out there for us to consume and enjoy. So, yeah. So the delay is the delay, but, you know, at least it's still happening. That's the positive when you look at all of this overall. And add on to that, Wendy, there's also reports here coming from the playlist that Forrest Whitaker is set to return as Saw Gerrera in the Andor series. Now, I know a lot of you are like, what? We didn't like Forrest Whitaker as Saw Gerrera in the Andor series. What is wrong with you? But you know, I didn't mind him. I know some people
I didn't really mind it.
Right?
See, I didn't really mind it.
I thought it was good. And certainly, you know, watching Saw Gerrera now popping up in the Bad Batch for a couple episodes that he popped up.
Do you automatically place now Forrest Whitaker's voice in there a little bit?
Well, yes,
I kind of did when I saw that in the Bad Batch. I was like, oh, no, wait, it's different.
Hunter, have you come for me? So no, I mean, you know, he's a grizzled veteran at that point. He's got body parts missing, so you know he's gonna talk weirder than when we first saw him. That was his interpretation. Plus, if you watch the original Rogue One trailer, Forrest Whitaker does not have that hair. He is just clean shaven, and he's doing the voice, and it's a little more subdued. So certainly there might have been some direction, some changes there that maybe not be Forrest Whitaker's fault in the end for some of you that don't like his version of Saw.
That's what I remember from watching Rogue One. When he called on that creature to like read the thoughts, Boguret, and I was like, "What is that?" The way he says it, Boguret. I'm sorry. Completely.
Have you come to betray me? Oh, it's so good, so good.
Oh man,
I don't care what.
Hey, look, Hollywood. If you ever need anyone to voice match Forrest Whitaker as Saw Gerrera, please contact John Rocha and his agents.
Please contact my agents. But I think I'm a fan of it. I enjoy it, and so seeing him come back, obviously this is going to be a younger version of Saw Gerrera, so maybe he won't have the crazy hair. Maybe the voice will be different. Maybe the Star Wars is not above making some changes when they bring characters back. So that could be a lot of fun to see. But also, in addition to that, is the rumor coming in from the direct. They're claiming that Ben Mendelsohn will be coming back as well to return as Orson Krennic, the director there, seeing him come back as into the show of Andor. That could be fascinating as well because, you know, Ben Mendelsohn is doing just fine on the big screen, but of course he's going to be involved in that Secret Invasion stuff. So this seems like a lateral move now to be a part of Andor, since Secret Invasion is going to be a Disney Plus series. The amount of money that they're spending on these Star Wars series, Wendy, it seems like these actors, it's not like going down to television anymore. It's very much a lateral move to be a part of these Disney Plus series, whether it's Star Wars or Marvel, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, I love that. And I also love the fact that he is going to be returning because it makes sense, right? All these kind of crossovers, these characters, whether it's Saw or Ben Mendelsohn's character, they all kind of exist in that timeline, granted earlier. So it's going to be interesting to see how they approach that, because in Rogue One, it made me feel like Cassian sort of we're meeting these characters for the first time. Yeah. So will he actually face to face with some of them, or will he not? You know, and kind of see where everybody is during that stage of time. You know, years before the events of Rogue One happened.
Yeah, yeah. And also, what else you've got in this situation here is that you've got Tony Gilroy executive producing this thing. And remember, Tony Gilroy was in charge of the reshoots for Rogue One. So we're going to stay within that vibe. So hearing some of these actors coming back to reprise their roles that Tony Gilroy reshot them in for Rogue One, which, by the way, made over $1 billion. Kind of opens the door to a lot of things. We are getting Genevieve O'Reilly back as Mon Mothma, but K2SO isn't coming back until the second season. So again, we're getting a younger Cassian Andor. So Diego maybe there's some de-aging. I don't know, but it may be. We'll see.
I mean, he still looks the same. The face still looks the same today as when I first saw him in Y Tu Mamá También. So
yeah, brown don't frown. That's for sure. You gotta respect it.
He literally looks the same, but in Star Wars garb. So that he doesn't age. Whatever his skincare is, I want to know. Whatever water he's drinking, I want to know. This is so exciting. Like, and also for just how we always talked about the Star Wars universe being really big.
Yeah.
And then I think it really finally feels that when you see a Clone Wars character show up, in a live action movie, and then show up to like an even earlier prequel show, and you're just like, wow, Saul's really like, he's been everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just like we saw Ahsoka Tano leap off the animated screens into live action with Rosario Dawson. It was great to see Saw Gerrera be live action as well. And we'll see what version we get. And we'll see where Orson Krennic is at. Because clearly if they go back in time, he is clearly working with Galen Erso. So is there a possibility that we get a Mads Mikkelsen one-off or cameo or whatever? Certainly possible. I know he's focusing on Indiana Jones 5, but you never know if he pops up in a small cameo or a one episode role where he shows up. Why not? The money is there now, Wendy. It isn't like, you're going to be a guest star on a small sitcom. This is Disney Plus series. They're spending money. They will pay actors feature film money to come and do a one episode or 2 episode arc on the show. So that could be interesting.
Absolutely. Well. I mean, you look at the credits at the end of all the shows, whether it's WandaVision or if it's, The Mandalorian, like there's a reason why these credits are about 7 to 8 minutes long because of how many people are involved in it. So it's incredible. I want to also see Krennic kind of work up his way to the current rank that he is, where we saw him in Rogue One.
Yeah.
Like, who does he have to, I guess, push out of the way to get to where because he's kind of savage, and that's kind of like, no, I know what I want, so I'm gonna get what I want.
He's an ambitious guy. That's for sure. Yeah, that's for sure. So we shall see. Ladies and gentlemen. We shall see. So good stuff there. All right, let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, now I want to get your thoughts on this one. I put this near the end of our rundown, the first section of the show here. Liam Neeson apparently in an interview has supposedly shut down the fact that he might be showing up in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Kenobi. He was on Jimmy Kimmel Live to discuss his new film, The Ice Road, that's coming out on Netflix. And he was asked about whether he'd appear in the Kenobi series. And he said, quote, I heard Ewan McGregor was going to do a series. No, I don't think so. No, I haven't been approached. He then insinuated that they could not afford him to be in the series. Kimmel somewhat took him at his word, but pointed out that the seasoned screen veteran could just as easily be lying through his teeth because he has shown up. He has shown up as part of his voice has shown up in the recent trilogy. I think he was also a part of the Clone Wars situation. So we've seen him voice over Qui-Gon Jinn in a number of other areas, and I think even to the video game. So it'd be curious to me that they wouldn't, so quote unquote, approach him. This reminds me so much of Joaquin Phoenix denying until they said, yes, he's the Joker. Or even Tatiana Maslany saying, I am not She-Hulk. Well, it says here you signed the contract. I never signed a contract. All right, I know
nothing of this.
Yeah, I know nothing of this. All right, I'm She-Hulk. So do you buy him at his word, or do you think this is a little gamesmanship from Liam Neeson to try to kind of, throw people off the scent that he might be in Kenobi?
I think he's being very coy and he's choosing not to say anything. And this is a bit of a misdirect. And I think also he may not appear because he physically won't be there, but a voice. I think a voice is very probable, and that's not the same as appearing on a show because you're not physically shooting. You're just kind of walking into, a sound booth, record your lines, and then you are done. So I feel like we would hear him more than we would see him.
Yeah.
In the flashbacks.
Yeah, maybe he won't. Maybe he doesn't appear as a Force ghost. I had this vision of him and Kenobi and Hayden Christensen in the world between worlds, somehow having some kind of interaction with them. We just did our episode of Jedi Away with me and Laura Kelly, and we discussed that idea of time travel, the possibility that these three dudes might end up in the world between worlds. That's how they could meet up in some strange way. But yeah, I think this is him being coy.
Oh, yeah.
Playful. And he doesn't want to admit it. And he's on Jimmy Kimmel Live. And, Wendy, you've seen those, or maybe you haven't seen those, but I'm sure you heard of those Disney NDAs. You got to be careful. You never know what you can say. And all of a sudden, you're not coming back to be a part of the world of Star Wars anymore.
That would suck. It's like, well, you're telling me I can't be a Jedi anymore? I'm sorry. Right. How do I apologize? Yeah, I think it's also a safer bet for the actors and their publicists just to be like, I don't know.
Oh yeah. Oh, totally. This is
until Disney comes out and say, yeah.
I mean, I remember recently a few months ago, I interviewed Cody Smith McPhee, and he revealed some stuff about X-Men, and he revealed some stuff about contracts. And the publicist emailed me the next day. She goes, "You got to cut all that out. You got to call all that out." And I had to cut it out, which really drove me insane because it could have been a good story, a nice little story for this burgeoning outlet of mine. But in the end, you got to cut it. But
bummer.
there was stuff there that's very interesting. So the publicists love it if you just deny, because it's
because then they don't have to chase you down. Now they're like on their phone. They're like, oh my god, I got to take all the notes.
Yeah, right.
Because they're listening the whole time. You and I have seen, the publicists that work firsthand. People think like they're just like always on their phone. I'm like, no, they are taking notes and they're paying attention to everything. Trust me.
You're 1,000% correct, Wendy. 1,000% correct. All right, see if we got any more Streamlabs. Ladies and gentlemen, only one Streamlab so far. Come on and send some support for the show here. We got over 100 of you watching us live right now. Thank you very much. Please hit that like button. Let's get to 100 likes. If it's your first day on YouTube, it's that thumbs up button. So please give us a like there. If you're watching later, give us a like and leave a comment. But please, while you're watching live, send in some support for the show. We love doing this every Friday. Want to see if we can get you all to kind of send in some support and donations. The Streamlab address is pinned to the chat. It's in the description, and it's right above our heads there in the graphic. All right, let's jump into some trending stuff, Wendy. What? Oh, no. Yeah. Actually, no.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
We have got an awesome treat. Wendy Lee, please take it away.
So we've talked about this last Friday that we all knew Dustin and I were going to try for Avengers Campus. And we say try is because, yes, we had a ticket, but because of COVID and social distancing and things like that at Disney, you can't just like free roam and walk right into Avengers Campus, which is like the newest addition to the land. So obviously foot traffic is going to be pretty heavy there. Mm-hmm. So we had this whole game plan. We went. We were successful. We had a good time. We bought way too much stuff. Actually, half of it isn't even for me. I brought gifts for a couple of people, for one person specifically because her birthday's coming up. But we had a good time, and I thought I'd bring over a little like video and a little montage to share with you guys.
Let's take a look at it right now.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's Disney vlog. We are here at 5:45 in the morning. This is exactly what we said we wouldn't be doing, and then we got anxious about not physically being here early, so we ended up doing it. So that's what we're doing here. We're waiting in this line to get temperature checked, and then into the plaza, that's Blonda, whatever you want to call it, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, into Avengers Campus.
So what we're doing here is we're trying to get a boarding pass for Web Slingers, which is the new ride at Avengers Campus. And the only way to get on the ride is to get a boarding pass. You have two tries, one's at 7 a.m. and one's at 12 p.m.
Get it!
Oh my god, really? Yeah! Fucking yes! Woo! Woo! Got it! Dustin got it! For both of us, right?
Group 8.
Yeah! Yeah! We got it! We got it! So we were successful in getting a boarding pass, as you saw in the clip earlier, because of this guy right here. So we're just now waiting for the temperature check and be let in the park, and then the first thing we're going to do, even though we have a boarding pass, is still trying to see if we can get in Avengers Campus a little earlier, just so we can kind of get to see it, experience it fully throughout the day. Yeah. Oh my God!
Oh, I love the music.
It's so good. It's epic.
Look at that. Wow. Whoa!
Little scent show.
That's the animatronic, right? That's not real.
Oh yeah. Wow. It's not real. This is. This guy is.
Oh, okay. Love it. Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah, that thing's huge. So was that meatball.
Oh my God. Now I have to go. Woo!
At the clip.
That's awesome, Wendy. My word. That looks stellar and incredible. I can't wait to go and finally go see all of that. What was your what was your feeling when it was all over, and what was your favorite thing that you did? Because certainly you gave us a preview of it, but then to actually walk through everything and experience everything, what was your favorite part of it?
My favorite part was probably the ride, the web slinger ride, which I didn't include in the clip because just in case people thought it was like, maybe too spoilery. Yeah. And because I have the pre-show and all that tape, that I was like, oh, maybe not for this one, but I will have a full vlog on the Movie Couple channel. So make sure you follow there, and it should be up sometime next week once I can get out of my editing hole. But the ride is incredible. It's the load time is a little bit slower because they're only allowing your same party to sit on the same side of the cart. So if like you're a party of one, you get one entire side of the car to yourself because they won't put you with a stranger. And you essentially, I'm going to scoot back a little bit. You do this, and webs, you'll see webs on the screen shoot out from your wrist to hit all the spider bots. And all the spider bots are a little bit different. They have different effects. Some are a little green, kind of like a Hulk. Some have lightning. And you can also shoot your web, not at a spider bot, but like maybe at a shelf. You can sling that, pull it down, and it can fall on all the spider bots to kind of get rid of all of them. Yeah. It's so interactive. I didn't even know what I was doing. I just know for like however long I was in the ride, I was doing this the whole time. I'm like, get them all. It was a blast. We were only able to go on it once because. So here's the thing about what you guys saw in the beginning of the clip when we were trying to get the pass. So you only get 2 chances in a day. And this guarantees you to get inside Avengers Campus. Because if you show a boarding pass, they can say, okay, come on through. Right. So you only get, everybody's trying for it. So at 6:59, if you're going to go, this is my tip for you. Have the app ready. 6:59 comes around. You start refreshing the join virtual queue until it hits 7 and hope that you get in. That's the way to do it. That's how both Dustin and we would have both gotten in, but because we're in the same party, they don't allow you to get kind of double dip.
Uh-huh.
So we were able to get on, and it was great because we were group 8, which meant we were the first group to be called. They called group 1 through 9 for the first section. So we're literally the first people on the ride. And there's a lot to see. There's like lockers, the big graffiti wall that you saw in the beginning, that's part of the ride, or the outside of the ride. That's actually the signature by the graffiti artist as Miles. So that's like little fun Easter eggs that you can see. But yeah, so if you can get in through that way, great. If not, there is a queue to get into Avengers Campus. Now, if you show up early in the morning, like if you're there, we were there at 5:30 in the morning, you're going to get in no problem. But later on through the day, I saw that line. It was like hours to get back in if you happen to have like left. So we just stayed almost the whole day inside Avengers Campus, which was cool because there was always a lot of stuff going on. You guys saw a lot of like the character interactions, Black Widow, the stunt show, the Dora Milaje, and kind of pseudo meet and greet. You still have to social distance. Like the cast members didn't allow you to be like, I think 10 feet out from the characters. So they were really trying, working really hard to protect the cast members so they felt safe in performing in their space. So there's all these stuff that's always going on. There's no set time. I try to figure it out, coming from a theme park background. I'm like, okay, I think their set time is this. And I would think I have the science down and then I'd be wrong. And I'm like, I don't know when it happens. I say definitely check out the Dora Milaje show, which happens a lot, and you'll hear it. Everything else goes quiet and they pump up that like Wakanda music, which you didn't get to hear because for copyright reasons, I took it on and replaced it with a royalty free music. But that show and the Doctor Strange show, you don't want to miss.
Oh, wow.
It's so good. Yeah. So
any
those are
hints?
great. And
any hints?
So the Dora Milaje. Oh, actually, in the Doctor Strange show, they actually looped in because he is battling. I've come to bargain. Dormammu?
Oh, Dormammu, yes.
Yeah. So he's kind of doing that, and he kind of turns around, as you saw in the clip, and he's like, well, you guys got to help me. I need XYZ things. And he said, these items that I have aren't enough. And I can't remember what it's called. I have to watch back the clip. But he would say, do I call for the helps of the Eternals? Like he mentioned the Eternals.
Wow.
He definitely mentioned them and a couple of others. And I was like, So yeah, there's definitely there's like little bits going on. And I think where you saw the stunt show happen, we couldn't physically as guests go into that building. Right. So I think they're using it to house costumes and talent and things like that. But I want to say eventually that's a space that they can take out or modify to add more into it. And literally, because we went on a Wednesday. On the Wednesday, the next day, they had switched Loki from his regular Loki Glorious Purpose outfit to the TVA cell outfit, like literally the next day. So things are going to continue to change. I'm a little bummed that we didn't get to see a Scarlet Witch walking around. I didn't personally see the newest Captain America. We saw Captain Rogers, but I didn't see Falcon. So I was kind of bummed about that. I really wanted to see that.
Wow.
But
awesome. It looks incredible. I mean, the sets, the cost, having done theme park stuff now for the couple of years that I did it, all those people portraying those characters, there's so much responsibility on their shoulders, and it's difficult. It's a tough process to be cast as one of those iconic characters. So you got to give them props and respect that they're willing to step out there and bring that character to life for so many people who are going to be coming. So I hope they knock it out of the park, and it looks fantastic, and I can't wait to go and experience that myself.
Food's really good too.
Yeah, the food's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's real good. My favorite was the Dustin really liked the panini. And then I really like the spaghetti.
Oh yeah, they look good.
It's impossible meat, and it tastes just like meat. I'm like, how do they do this?
Oof, wow. What about the chocolate bar?
Okay. The chocolate bars are a lot of fun to like buy and look. But if you're not into super sweet stuff, do not get it. So it comes with, there's like peanut butter and cream and bits of peanut in it. So again, if you have peanut allergies, don't get this. A layer of nougat, a layer of caramel, and then there's brownie on the bottom. It's all covered in chocolate. We bit into it. That caramel could pull your filling out of your tooth. It was so sticky that I was sitting there and I'm like, I can't eat another bite. So what we ended up doing was using our knife and we cut around the caramel because neither one of us could deal with it anymore.
Oh my God, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah.
Level 2 Trading says, I kind of thought Doctor Strange was Mike Wazowski for a second.
I can see that. I can totally see that for sure. All right, let's hit some of these Streamlabs super chats. Wendy definitely is fantastic. Yeah, and guys, if you want to see the whole video, go over to the Movie Couples YouTube channel. Wendy will have the vlog up there for you all to enjoy. Go and subscribe to that channel and enjoy all the stuff that. Oh, there it is. Nice.
Got the spider bot, and we have the Iron Man power up too, which I can't get out of this thing. I was trying to get out of it. And then this is a gift that I bought somebody.
Oh, nice.
Their birthday's coming up.
Oh, nice little.
Since it's kind of specific to Avengers Campus, I don't know if you can get it elsewhere, but I was like, it's cute. I'll buy it. There's a tiny little spider bot that he's holding. And I bought myself a hat, and that's it.
Oh, nice. The A. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Right to the side. That's
I like that it's black on black.
Hell yeah. That is cool. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. So you can do all of that over at the Avengers Campus. Go and enjoy. And thank you to Wendy for sending along that 4-minute video. It's awesome. Let's take a look at some of your Streamlabs super chats real quick. Taylor Godwin says, what were your thoughts on Fast 9? Quickly, all I'll tell you is this. If you're a Fast 9 fan, get ready. It's 2.5 hours of just madness. And I had a great time in the theater. I saw some highfalutin critics that didn't like it. But I'm telling you, as a guy who enjoys these kinds of movies, you're going to have a good time. And I'm not spoiling anything because it's already been in the trailer. Clips are out there. Yes, they go to space. I'll just leave it at that. But I enjoyed it. What about you, Wendy? Did you get a chance to see it?
I'm seeing it this Thursday. I'm very excited.
All right. Get excited.
I'm very excited. So we'll talk about it for sure.
Oh, yeah. On the show? Definitely. On next week's show for sure. All right, so real quick, Bleeding Green says, don't know if you've seen this, but Kevin Bacon has been cast as the villain in the Toxic Avenger remake. I haven't seen that, but that sounds awesome. And it makes so much sense. Kevin is such a great villain when he plays it. Remember him in X-Men First Class, so it's great to see him play a villain for sure. In the Toxic Avenger remake, this adds a little more credibility to it. And remember, Kevin doesn't mind doing horror that is comedy and horror at the same time, aka Tremors. So it's a nice choice to put him in there for sure. Any thoughts on that, Wendy? Any thoughts on that?
Sorry, pose your question one more time.
Kevin Bacon being cast as the villain in the Toxic Avenger remake.
I mean, it's Kevin Bacon. I feel like, and for him to be the villain, is that?
Yeah.
I mean, yes.
Interesting.
You know, it's funny. It was Jason Scott Lee who played the villain in Mulan, right?
Oh yes.
But we watch him, and I promise we're gonna get to like why I'm saying this. But he says, we kind of ask him, like he's done like Mogwai and stuff like that. Like, how does it feel to play the bad guy? And he goes in the interview, and I still have the sound clip of it. And he's like, I guess when you get old, you just play the bad guy. Oh God.
Yeah, even Tom Cruise played the bad guy. That's right. In Collateral. Drunken Prayer says, late to the show. We'll catch you all later. Good stuff. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. Justin Toner says, hi, John and Wendy. I was sad watching the end of Critical Role's second campaign last week, but campaign 3 is coming, and I'm excited for the Exandria Unlimited series coming up. John, did you see Criterion announced the Melvin Van Peebles box set yesterday? No, I did not. So interesting stuff, especially if you're going to study Black cinema and the Schmodown. Melvin Van Peebles is one of the places you definitely want to start for sure. But yeah, we'll be talking about Exandria Unlimited in just a little bit. Andrew Russell says, I'm so jealous of Wendy and Dustin getting to go to Avengers Campus. That food looked incredible. There you go. And Patricia Metz says, eat all the food. Patricia Metz says, I'm getting so excited about the future of geek entertainment, sitting back and letting it all come to me. My PSA, please, if you enjoy something, share and talk about it. Be kind when you don't like something. People work hard for us, and they don't have to. Oh, that's very kind. It's very, very true, Patricia. Some wise words there, wouldn't you say, Wendy?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I'm still stuck on Kevin Bacon playing Toxic. That's cool.
Perfect. Well, Wendy, we've got someone waiting to come in that we're excited to welcome to the show. Our second guest on the show here in the history of the short history of the show. So we're excited to bring her on. Wendy, please do the honors.
This is my dear friend Yael Tiegel. You may know her from Fanversation and that hashtag show. Please join me in welcoming Yael.
Yeah, welcome, Yael. How are you?
Hello. Hi. I'm so excited to be here.
You look fantastic as always.
Thank you.
Yes. What's the necklace? Is that your name or
It's my Twitter handle.
I love it. I love it.
That's awesome. So smart. Always be branding.
Right?
Always be
You never
branding.
know if there's a lower third, so you always
Good
have
call.
it on my neck.
Good
Oh
call.
my God.
That's smart.
Genius.
That's smart.
Okay, we gotta get ours.
Well, we brought you on. Obviously, you're a critic and a pundit on all things going on in the world of entertainment and geekdom, but we also have some stuff to get into trending-wise before we get into the In the Heights movie review. Do you mind hanging out with us and talking about some of that?
Yeah, of course.
All right. Wendy, take it away. Let's jump into
All
our
right.
trending section.
You guys, Starbucks, get your Starbucks or maybe not get your Starbucks because they are running low on ingredients. And I started to see this too on my Starbucks app, where if you were to, specifically the fruit stuff, if you want to try to get like a guava passion fruit or a mango, or if you want to get your iconic pink drink with coconut water and a little coconut milk and strawberry bits, you may not be, you can have the drinks. They just won't have some of these ingredients for you. So locations across the country are kind of being met with the demand that for fruit and syrup and things like that they cannot meet. And customers are getting a little upset. There's one customer who apparently went to 4 different Atlanta locations just to look for specifically an iced peach green tea lemonade, but none of the stores had peach juice.
Wow. That seems
This is
like
very much a first world problem.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's the first world problems for sure. And I feel a little guilty because living where I live in San Diego, in my section of San Diego, we were never out of anything at that Starbucks. So maybe because it's a smaller community, we get a little lucky and we don't run out of stuff. Yeah, what do you think about this? Is this an odd situation or pretty much expected? Because it seems to be across the border there are issues with across the country rather there are issues with supplies on a number of things.
I mean, yes, there are issues with supplies on a number of things, but I think specifically this, it's a Starbucks. They have coffee. Get a coffee. Like Starbucks coffee is what they're called. So if they ran out of coffee, sure, that's a concern. If they ran out of like things that, really are important to coffee. So like the flavors that you'd put in a coffee, which is not peach.
Right.
Like hazelnut, almond, you know what I mean? Those are the things that I'd be concerned about. Milk, sugar.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Concerned.
Right. But
You walk into a Starbucks. Oh, I feel like I want to get a pink drink out of Starbucks coffee.
right. Your lemonade. Okay. Go to somewhere else, anywhere else.
And
Go to
most of those recipes are online. So if you really wanted to make it yourself, you could get ahead of the curve and just create a pitcher and leave it in your refrigerator for yourself. Right. But I get it. I mean, people want what they want. They want it when they. And what kind of job does she have that she could drive to 4 Starbucks before going to work? That's pretty incredible. I could barely get to one.
Have a job.
You know what's worse? What this person said is, oh God, let me find it, because like the next sentence they said, I was like, ooh, gross. So this person who went to 4 different locations, and because they didn't have peach juice, they said to Starbucks, those poor baristas are working there for like minimal wage. Yeah. This is the peach state, right?
Oh.
Ew.
Oh.
Wow.
No. No, thank you, ma'am.
They do not get paid enough to deal with this person.
No. Yeah, it is the peach state. You want to go pick some peaches for me and I can bring it over here and I'll muddle up for you? Come on.
I'll squeeze it out for sure.
So rude. I'd be like, you know what? I quit. This is just okay. So, Yael, you weren't here, but the first episode that we did for Explain the World, John and I talked about how on TikTok people were having these like the length of a CVS receipt long coffee order. And I wonder if this is the result of people ordering like freaking 4 bananas blended into XYZ. Like they're treating Starbucks like a smoothie shop. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, I think Starbucks should have stopped after flavored coffees. Again, it's a coffee shop. It is not a smoothie place. I was just thinking about how sometimes some of them have booze, or they did have booze. There was like a moment where booze was a thing at Starbucks. And it's not a bar.
I like some coffee and Bailey from a Starbucks. Thanks. You can make it at home. That's the whole thing.
It's a barista, but it's not a bar.
Yeah.
It's not a bar.
Yeah.
Oh. Do they have to be all 21 and over to pour that little bit of?
I would imagine so. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you have to. You have to be. Oh, I think over 18 to pour.
Yeah,
or 21. I don't remember. It's been a minute since I served.
Having been in the South for a few years, I'm sure they flub that every once in a while. So, but yeah, let's. So we'll see what happens. Poor Starbucks and poor people who need those lemonades. We'll see. We'll keep track of it, and hopefully you'll get the supplies. But the article also mentioned how some of the houses aren't being sold as quickly because there's some issues with the security of the microchips in there. Some of the cars that are a little slow as well and rolling off the line. Appliances, all of that stuff has taken longer. So these are more things that you would actually use in life to get from one place to another. I think it's a little important than the peach syrup, but people going to complain. They're going to complain. All right, Wendy, where are we off to next?
Little K-pop news that we're just going to quickly go through. So you guys know that I've been watching Kingdom, which is a K-pop competitive show aired in Korea. And there were a bunch of teams, but I felt like I was very biased towards Stray Kids, their music I really, really like. And I'm not saying like, oh, none of the other groups are like, they're all good. Like if you can debut and be a K-pop idol, you are talented because not everybody debuts. So the thing is, I was looking kind of on the trending page yesterday and I kept on coming across the hashtag Stray Kids is 8. And I was like, yeah, there's 8 of them. What's happened? And I realized this watching Kingdom that except for, I think, one of the couple of earlier episodes, the members, all of a sudden, I could only count 7. So I was like, let me see what happens. So one of their members, his name is Hyunjin. He was accused of being a bully to somebody in middle school. And the K-pop world takes accusations and disciplinary actions, all that really, really seriously. So he is dealing with right now the aftermath of his actions in high school. So someone who remained anonymous came forward with bullying allegations against him. So what happened within his company is JYP Entertainment, they kind of did their own research when the accusations came about, and they interviewed the person who made the claim, former teachers, other classmates. And for now, Hyunjin has been suspended from working indefinitely. And he's, did this whole apology, both publicly and on his social media. He's reflecting his work, he's doing a little self-reflection, and he's obviously stopping all of his activities as a K-pop artist, which means he wasn't able to continue on with the members to compete in Kingdom. So I was really happy when they won. I was like, yeah, for Hyunjin. So I don't really know what is going on because it's been over a month since this has been reported, and he's apologized, and they still haven't reenacted or reinstated his kind of like active duties as a member. And now the fandom, and they're called stays. If you're a Stray Kids fan, you're a stay. They are not happy. There's that, and that's why the hashtag Stray Kids is 8. Like he's reflected, and also this was like, and we don't know the severity of like his words, right? Maybe he was terrible to somebody, and he should do some self-reflection. But it's also, I think the fans' frustration is on the company. You haven't released any sort of statement on this. They just come off a very successful win. Like, what's happening with the 8th member? Is he just gone? Is he just done? Because they can do that. They can just be like, you're done. You're retired at like 23 or however old he is. So the fans are upset and they want answers from the entertainment company.
I can't possibly comment on this. Middle school? Oh my God. Who the hell is perfectly formed in middle school? Yeah, I don't know about you, but I don't want anyone to go back to my middle school. I was getting beat up most of the time, but still, I wouldn't want anybody seeing what was going on in middle school.
I think there are some questions that have to be answered, right? We got to know, if it was middle school, how old is he now, right? Like, is he 18 or is he in his 20s? Also, what did he say and do? Because look, middle school me was going through a lot, and at some point I was a bully, and I know that, and I take ownership of that. And I'm also now in my 30s. So like, who I was in middle school is nowhere near even a tiny bit of who I am now.
Right.
And I think that's the question, is what was it? Also, that said, some things are unforgivable. You know what I mean? Like, what did he do
Yeah,
old was he?
exactly.
Or was
What
he
did he do that he hasn't, come back yet from, a very public apology and things like that? I'm hoping that maybe we'll get a little bit more news from the entertainment company because they've done their investigation, and if he can kind of sit down with the people that has hurt, or especially the accuser, and talk it out and just sincerely apologize. I truly believe that he is, being genuine with his apology. He very much like owned up to it. He wasn't trying to be like, I was in a different place. Like all he said was, I'm sorry for, let me see the translation here. I want to sincerely apologize to those who were hurt by my improper actions during my school years. Looking back on the times I was more lacking, I'm embarrassed and have no excuse. So 100% owning it.
Yeah. All right. So we'll see.
So we'll see.
We'll keep tabs on it. Okay, and let's jump into some this Critical Role that is happening. Exandria Unlimited. They have a new miniseries premiering on June 24th. There's like a 50-second trailer out there. Wendy, what's your experience with Critical Role? Did you, as Justin Toner, did you finish watching the second season? And did you see this trailer? What's your thoughts on this? And Yael as well. Did you guys get a chance to watch any of this?
You guys know that I'm like super into TTRPG and Pathfinder and Dungeons and Dragons, which is what Critical Role plays. I am still in the midst. I think I'm on episode 145 of campaign 2. So like, don't put spoilers in the chat. I don't want to read it. But this is really exciting because this Exandria Unlimited is not meant to be a season 3. This is a limited series, only 8 episodes, but it's set in the world of Exandria, which means it could overlap with some of the timelines and possibly characters from the Vox Machina campaign, which is campaign 1, or the Mighty Nine campaign, which is campaign 2. And the cast that they have, obviously Matthew Mercer, but he's not the DM this time. He's actually doing a playable character, which is going to be fun. That's kind of why I want to tune in, because Matthew has done a lot of just DMs. And yes, he gets to play kind of the NPCs and things like that, but it's not the same as like rolling dice and having a character driven story and build an arc and things like that. So this new campaign is going to be DM'd by Abria Iangard. I hope I'm saying her name right. Ashley Johnson, who was a core cast member of Critical Role, is joining, as well as Liam O'Brien. And then they have Amy Carrero and Robbie Damon joining the cast as well. So a bunch of voice actors, a bunch of really passionate players ready for a good time, and I can't wait. This is set 30 years after Vox Machina campaign, which is campaign 1, and 10 years after the Mighty Nine. So before I watch this on June 24th, I'm definitely going to have to finish watching campaign 2. Otherwise, things are going to be spoiled for sure.
Yeah.
We lost John's camera for a second.
Sorry, guys. I'll be right back in just a second.
Yael, do you partake in the TTRPG world, or do you watch Critical Role?
I do not. I am super new to that world, and so I am really proud of how many words I understood and when you were explaining everything.
Yes.
I was like, okay, I get it. I know what she's talking about. Yep, I know what that means. So it sounds really cool. I'm just not in that world at all.
We're trying to get John Rocha in a one-shot. My husband's actually been, he's planning it out. So it's happening, I guess.
Oh, okay.
He's like, what do you think? What kind of a situation do you think Rocha wants to be in the campaign? I was like, well, don't tell me too much because I'm playing too. I don't want to meta game.
Let's if it's sports oriented or a battle, I'm in. I'm 1,000%. I think this is the way
I told him that you would like combat with a little bit of role play.
Yes. Let me be a dwarf. Can I be a dwarf? I
got to do one role play game once, and it was Doctor Who themed, and that was, and I was like, okay, this is my wheelhouse. And now everything else, I'm like, but could it just be Doctor Who themed?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it can be anything themed. You can theme it in anything.
Yeah.
Speaking 100%. Of Doctor Who, Loki. There's all kinds of Doctor Who stuff going on there, isn't there? Like I was going insane watching that first episode. Like I'm like, they even said, "Oh, you're the guy with the blue box," and I'm like, "Bah!" So I just was going insane. I mean, just that scene where he's showing him the world of the TVA. I'm like, that is so out of Doctor Who. I know I've seen that in the last season with Capaldi and oh God, what's her name? I forget the actress's name who plays her, but the assistant before Bill, the one that's in the Young
Clara?
Victoria. Yeah, Clara. Yeah, Clara. I know there were shots of like a whole thing here. So, what did you think? Did you sense that as you were watching this? Any of the Doctor Who vibes?
Oh, that's so interesting. Is I didn't because
Okay.
I was so busy going, what's that? Who's that? What's happening?
Yeah.
And then there was a cat, and the cat really
Oh, yeah.
very much excited me. I get very excited.
Was
by
it a
cats.
Flurkin?
I thought it was Chewy for a second. Then I was like, nope, that's not the same cat at all.
That was definitely not Chewy. No, I know my
Did you
cat.
guys catch the Easter egg when you guys both saw the first episode, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Wait, can I maybe not talk about it? Is it too spoilery if I talk about this Easter egg?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like people have seen it, haven't they?
It's been 2
2
days.
When he
It's been 2 days.
bammed out of the room he was in with Morbius,
Yes.
with Mobius. And he was kind of like, where am I? And then as he bamped in, there was another set of like TVA, like door that opened. People are saying that woman and man that walked through the woman look like Peggy Carter.
Peggy Carter.
Oh,
Yeah.
The TVA could have a variant of Peggy Carter.
I have to
Maybe this
rewatch
is-
the first episode.
It's crazy.
Maybe
When I
this is
saw it,
how
I was
Steve
like,
Rogers. Maybe this is how Steve Rogers ended up in that timeline with Peggy. I don't
Oh.
know. Chris Evans
Oh, yeah,
keeps
he
saying
did go
he's
back
He did
in
go
that
back.
timeline, and there is a deviation there, so maybe that's that.
That's for sure. All right, we're running a little bit out of time, Wendy. We got to get to this. Do you want to do the BTS story, or shall we jump into our review here with Yael?
BTS just causing chaos with their McDonald's meal. That's all it is. In Indonesia, the McDonald's people, they were like, we can't take customers, only delivery and drive-through. And then so an entire gang of like delivery drivers are like, can we get our BTS meal? Tables were overturned. Police had to be called. It was chaotic.
Wow. Just for some BTS meals, huh?
And it's chicken nuggets. It's chicken.
Yeah.
Remember we talked about this.
Those aren't even
It's
good
not a
chicken
special.
nuggets. Like the Habit has better chicken nuggets than McDonald's has, and
The Habit
comparably
has
the
chicken
same
nuggets?
price. Oh yeah, those chicken. Yeah, I would argue
Oh, I
better.
gotta go there tonight.
Yeah, you should. I'm trying. Hey, there's a Habit 3 minutes away from me. It's the worst thing ever. Like I gotta limit it to once a week, or else
We're
I
the
just go
best thing
insane.
ever.
Yeah, not for my waistline. Anyway, so we'll see what happens. All right, well, let's jump into this thing. We are on the precipice of this movie coming out today, In the Heights, from John M. Chu, and of course, based on Lin-Manuel Miranda's stage play as well, stage musical rather. And by the way, he wrote that before he did Hamilton. In the Heights was kind of his ticket into the world of Broadway, winning Tonys, and then boom, Hamilton exploded like crazy. I would say In the Heights is Batman Begins, Hamilton is The Dark Knight, and I think so getting a chance to see this being interpreted onto the big screen. I remember I lobbied on Twitter when I heard other people had access to it. I was like, listen, I'm a Latino critic. I better get my hands on this immediately. And the next day, Warner Brothers sent me a link, very kindly sent me a link, and got a chance to watch this thing. So
Good
I
for
watched
you,
it.
man.
Jeff Snyder always says, closed mouths don't get fed. So, shout out to him. Although he should keep his mouth closed sometimes, I'll be honest. But anyway, if we're getting into this, we're going to talk about it. We're not going to spoil too much. We're going to talk about it. Yeah, let's start with you since you're our guest here. What is your review of this film? What was your feeling about this film? What was your reaction to it as you're watching it all unfold? And what has stayed with you since you've seen the film?
Yeah. So I was not familiar with the music. I was not familiar with the story. I was not familiar with anything. I did know that this was written before Hamilton.
Mhm.
I did know that people loved it. I did know it was about New York. So I went in pretty much with fresh eyes and had a really, really great time. It's super fun. You can tell that it's a Lin-Manuel Miranda style, and the cast was incredible. I will say the thing that I loved the most, as someone who is constantly arguing for diversity on screen, is to see body diversity in this film, not just in our main cast, but the background, the dancers. I was like, oh yeah, this is New York. This is New York. And so I absolutely loved that. It was really wonderful. The music's great. Everything's awesome. I'm used to sci-fi fantasy where like, what does it mean? Nope, there's none of that. None of that. You can just sit back and enjoy. There's no surprises. There's no twists, but it's really enjoyable. Yeah, I had a great time.
What about you, Wendy?
The hype was real for this movie. I went. I think my expectation was very, very high because all the trailers, everything I was seeing, I loved. I, know the music. I never got to see this on Broadway, unfortunately, but I know of the music. I think one of the only problems is that I was listening to that older soundtrack, the Broadway recording, so much that all I could hear was Lin-Manuel Miranda instead of Anthony Ramos in my head as I was watching it. I kept on comparing. I'm like, stop it. He's perfect. Just stop it. But other than that, I liked seeing how John M. Chu adapted this stage show into a movie, which isn't easy to do. And I think there were certain things that was still a little bit kind of a little jarring because it's not always going to translate 100%, but I think it's the best that it can be. And also props to him using so many extras and dancers, background actors in all the scenes, especially the scenes with Nina and Benny, just like their little stroll in the park when the first time she said, let me just listen to my block. And even Dustin was pointing, goes, look, there's choreography that we're not even getting to see because they're just in the background, like breaking it down. I'm like, that's how it is with Broadway. And that's, I think John Chu, coming from kind of dance and music video background, really appreciate all the musical, the key kind of notes that he has to hit and what to emphasize and what to not to emphasize. And I also like that he used a bit of, like graphic art on the, when he put a little animation. We saw a little bit of that in Crazy Rich Asians. So I kind of like that his style is flooding over to this one as well. Yeah. And I think it works for the movie like this. This movie, it makes you want to dance. It makes you want to cry. I love the diversity, both in body diversity and just like, if you're talking about a movie with like Washington Heights, I certainly don't want to see just like one specific color to stand out. So I love that it was really mixed, and it made me really happy to see all the different flags too, because like I'm from Miami. So that is kind of the environment I grew up with, right? Yeah. Just a lot of just like, very much like a melting pot. And I love seeing that reflected in this movie.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I echo both your sentiments 1,000%. I was very blown away by this. I watched it twice now, and every time you get up, you just feel that dance. As a Latino, man, it's in your blood. You hear the music, you sense that power, and you just can't help but get up. My girlfriend walked in one time, and she was like, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm just with the music, baby. I'm with the music." I have my headphones on, listening to it because I like to watch movies that way, so I can hear even the smallest background comment or whatever when I'm watching. So much fun. But the visuals here are stunning, absolutely stunning. Some of you may be too young to understand this term, Busby Berkeley. This gentleman, Busby Berkeley, back in the 1930s and 20s, making such incredible spectacles out of the musicals he directed back then. And certainly John M. Chu seems to have been influenced by some of that in the interpretation. Also, Fred Astaire, when he's dancing on the walls and on the ceiling, he took that kind of vibe and put that onto the buildings. Even had like a Spider-Verse vibe. When you remember that scene where Miles and the other Spidey are on the walking on the building together, talking, had that vibe here with Benny and with Nina and their dance sequence. That was incredible. And the stuff in the pool was phenomenal. But also, right? But also it was very topical. I mean, talking about the Dreamers and DACA and all of that. I was so surprised that they made that adjustment. And I think they seamlessly fitted into what the overall book on this musical was a few years ago. So very, very smart move overall. I thought the only negative, I think, was the Mark Anthony storyline. I didn't feel like that paid off in a way that made sense to present it when you cast someone that big. But I got what they were trying to do, what they were trying to go for. It was there. But, I mean, all the four actors. Right? What did I say?
That was Mark Anthony.
Honestly, that casting was incredible. I 100% believe he is that child's father.
Oh my God. I didn't even recognize, but I was like, why does he look so familiar? Didn't even bother looking it up.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that was a great scene.
Yeah. He looked tough too. He looked like he played it
with
really
the tats
well.
and all.
Yeah. Don't sleep on Mark Anthony. Don't sleep on Mark Anthony, gentlemen.
It was a surprise cameo, but it was perfect.
It was. He did a great job with it. But I mean, speaking of fantastic performances, you gotta give it up to the four leads: Anthony Ramos, Corey Hawkins, Leslie Grace, and Melissa Barrera were absolutely stellar. And Anthony Ramos, in an interview I read this morning, apparently 10 years ago, he auditioned for the musical and couldn't even get into it. Now he's leading it on film. So it's incredible where life can take you and the journeys. So no doesn't mean no forever. It just means no for right now. and it could mean yes in the future. It's a great lesson for anybody who's a performer or doing anything in life. And so throughout, just this joy, and Stephanie Beatrice being a part of this as well, and Daphne Rubin Vega, who I loved from the original Rent cast. Yeah, Mimi. So seeing her, still doing her thing, it was so great all around. Just an explosion of fun with universal themes. Don't think this is a Latino movie and only Latinos will get it. There are universal themes of pressure and college and trying to succeed and following your dreams and following your business, grandmother stuff, family stuff, tradition stuff. All of it is in here to enjoy for sure. Yeah.
Did either one of you ever watch? I know Rocha has, so I guess my question is to Yael. You've watched Rent, right? Whether it's the movie or the show. Did it not feel like there were a lot of inspirations that he pulled from it a little bit, specifically the scene with Claudia and her song? It reminded me less, I mean, obviously tonally it's different, but it reminded me of like Angel's moment a little bit. And seeing the way she kind of walked up the stairs, I was like, oh, it's giving me Angel vibes right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think it pulled from a lot of different places so beautifully. And I think, always when something's set in New York, they're like, New York is its own character. And in this, again, New York, it's a very specific part of New York is such a big part of it. And New York is such a special place. As someone who's never lived there, it's just such a special place. So I loved seeing this part of it. And I imagine that once travel resumes, a lot more people are going to go visit Washington Heights.
Oh, yes.
Now it's going to be a tourist spot.
Yep.
You know what? Make the money. Let them make the money.
Yep.
Why not?
I hope this film makes the money because, it's been so hyped up, so promised as the summer movie of 2021. I hope it hits all the goals and keeps opening the doors for more and more content being led by Latinos in our entertainment. We're seeing so many more people of color embracing these roles and getting cast in these roles. We just got a black Nightwing. We just had a black Batwoman get into the situation. Velma, Mindy Kaling doing an Asian Velma, from that area. So it's great to see this happening more and more. Let's keep it going. I hope this thing makes money. I hope Latinos show up for this. You got to support this kind of stuff. You got to go out there and pay the money and show them you want to see more content like this. So I hope so, because this one is well worth any amount of money you're putting down to go see it for sure. All right, let's. What do we jump into next, Wendy? Our recommendations. Should we jump into that?
Yes, and I forgot to prep Yael for this, so I'm really sorry. This is the part we kind of recommend what people watch. It could be old, it could be new. This is so I'm so obsessed with this show right now, and there's only been one episode, but I'm recommending Loki. I think if you haven't watched it yet, you need to jump right in and watch it, especially if you're a big fan of the Avengers, that MCU specific storyline. It's going to be really interesting to watch the show and see how this is going to play into phase 4, because we can already starting to see in episode 1 how much that's going to, bleed over. And I can't wait for episode 2.
Yeah. On my side of things, real quick, I echo that. Loki's been, having seen the second episode, it's even better than the first one. So definitely keep on the show. I finished Hacks last night. Holy Mary Mother. That is maybe one of the greatest seasons of television I've ever seen, with Jean Smart leading the way there as Deborah Vance. Again, my brain. But she's the one who plays Ava, Hannah Einbinder. She's incredible as Ava. So good. I saw The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard last night. Look, basically, if you like the first film, it's more of the first film, but Salma Hayek steals the whole damn movie. She's incredible as a central part of the film. Also, there's a new documentary out for you to watch on Paramount Plus. I think it's out now. Woman in Motion. It's a documentary on Nichelle Nichols and her time in Star Trek, and specifically how she influenced a new generation of African Americans to get into NASA, to apply to be a part of NASA, and how that influenced and changed the workforce at NASA. So certainly a documentary that if you haven't seen, do yourself a favor. If you're a Star Trek fan or just a fan in general of seeing someone change the world, watch that documentary. Yeah, you got to think. What are you watching?
Yeah. I got lots to recommend.
Please.
I watch everything. I just recently discovered The Great North, which is part of Fox's Animation Domination. It's from the people who made Bob's Burgers. I'll tell you this, I watched the first episode and I was like, this is bad. It's great. Get through that first episode. I was wrong. It was really good. So I recommend that. I do say get through the first episode, maybe the first two. You'll love it. If you like Bob's Burgers, you're going to love it. I also... I'm being told by the chat to recommend the Whirl Girls, but I'm always going to recommend them.
Whirl Girls, buy their merch.
Yeah. Also, in a couple weeks, I will be able to recommend Leverage Redemption, the Leverage reboot on IMDb TV, which is coming out in a couple weeks. So, yeah, those are my recommendations.
Okay. All right. And we've also got stuff coming up. Wendy, what do we got coming up from Pixar next week?
I'm so excited for Luca. I'm obsessed over the animation and the colors and the setting and the story, kind of that little twist that, because I was like, what is this all about? Like two adventuring boys, but they seem like they're not like from this area. So are they tourists? And the twist is that they're sea creatures trying to blend in a human world and see what kind of trouble they're gonna get into it. So I think it's very much like adventure fantasy, plus a little bit of coming of age, and it just looks so fun. Like every single time I've watched any of the TV spots or the trailers, I am smiling like ear to ear, and I just need more of that joy in my life. So I can't wait for Luca.
Right on. Yeah, I just got the notice that that's available for us to watch on the Disney Theater. I'll definitely be watching it this weekend for sure. I'm going to throw out three things. Blind Spotting, the TV series, is coming out this week. If you enjoyed that 2018 movie, they're back with a TV series version of it. Love, Simon has a version coming out as well, a TV version of their show. But Blind Spotting is the one that I think a lot of people need to take a look at and watch this series. Also, Physical with Rose Byrne. They did I watched this trailer. I'm like, this might be okay. And Rose Byrne is obviously a very funny comedic actress, but about her like dealing with this trauma that's going on and connecting it to the 80s. And also Fatherhood with Kevin Hart is coming out as a movie next week. So keep your eyes on that. The trailers look interesting. I hope the trailers live up to the promise of what that movie could be. I think Chris Weitz is directing that, who did About a Boy. So he's got a good track record with me. So I want to see if it's, I hope it's any, and watching Kevin, it's Paul Weitz, my apologies. But he did do About a Boy. He wrote About a Boy. So I'm not off on there, but certainly one to look forward to for Kevin Hart as well. Anything you want to preview coming up that you know of, Yael?
Oh, just Leverage Redemption.
Okay.
On IMDb TV. I already said it. I'm sorry. I was
How exciting.
Yeah, I like that. All right. Well, there we go. Let's wrap it up there. Thank you all so much for joining us live for this episode of John and Wendy Explain the World. And definitely, first of all, thank you to Yael for taking the time to come hang out with us and talk about all the things we got going on in trending and reviewing In the Heights as well. Please, what have you got to plug? What do you got going on? Tell the world.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me. I was so honored to be here. I am everywhere on the internet at Yael Tiegel. That is spelt for you right there. Also, I do a Law and Order Special Victims Unit review show called Law and Order S Review.
What? Really?
So, yes,
awesome.
Greatest show of all time. If you watch it, that's where to find it. I also do a show called Super Lady Hero Hour on YouTube, where we talk about all of the superhero shows, including Loki, and all of the CW DC verse shows. So check that out on Wednesdays. And I'm on Twitch attempting to play video games very poorly. Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wait, what's your feeling on the new show with Maloney back?
Law and Order Organized Crime.
Yeah, Organized Crime.
Is it just him? She's not back?
Oh, she never left. She's on SVU.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How dare you?
She's in the show. Yeah.
SVU is my favorite.
Because it's the best.
It's the best.
Organized Crime is very different. It's not it's not like a Law and Order where it's a procedural episode of the week. It is a story arc for the whole season.
Yeah.
I assume it's really enjoyable to be binged from top to bottom. I watched it week to week. Some weeks were good, some weeks were not. It ends on a cliffhanger, like a weird cliffhanger. because the season just ended, and I was like, this feels like you guys thought you had another episode. But it's not bad. And it was renewed, so we'll have more.
There you go.
And that ship is coming together. So.
Nice. Yeah. Maloney's butt. It's thick. It's super thick.
Wendy,
Wendy, what do you got going on? Please plug everything you got going on as well.
You can watch our Avengers Adventures to Avengers Campus over at the Movie Couple channel, as well as different reactions, movie reviews, and things like that. You can catch me on Instagram and Twitter at Wendy Lee Zaney, which is just my name. And you can also catch me on Twitch. I haven't streamed all week, so I think I'm going to probably hop on tomorrow, but it's twitch.tv/Wendy Lee Zaney.
Yeah, you're going to have to get me on Twitch, Wendy. You're going to get the old man on Twitch.
I was telling Rocha, he's got 2 point something. What 2.6K?
I've got my Elgato. I'm ready. I've got like over 200, and I haven't done one show. So
he hasn't done a single thing on it. He doesn't have panels. We got to help him. We got to make some panels for him.
Yeah, if anyone who's watching his empty Twitch channel would rather see Wendy actually play or me actually play.
I'm sure they're already subscribed to you guys. I'm sure.
What is your channel?
I got my Elgato, so let's take a look. So
is it John Rocha says?
No, it's the Outlaw Nation. It's the Outlaw Nation. It's very much
that makes sense.
It's connected to the outlet. So yeah. I'll be jumping on that at some point, ladies and gentlemen. So be patient. My
186 followers, and he's not doing
almost 200. Yeah,
I'm so mad at him.
My patrons are constantly hassling me to get onto it, so I will have to find my way there eventually, and I will. I promise. Anyway, you can follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram, and possibly on Twitch. No, that's the Outlaw Nation, but follow me there as well, and please subscribe to the channel. We're building this outlet out. We're almost at 17,000 subscribers, which is great. We want to get to 20,000 by the end of July. And hey, the channel is changing. We're doing more content, more reviews, more trailer reactions, more pre-produced content to lure more and more people in, so it becomes more of an entertainment-based content channel. We've put the politics show to bed for the rest of the time until we need it. But for now, we're going to focus on just entertainment stuff. So if you were hesitating, trust me, now's the time to subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell to let you know all the good stuff that's happening here. All right, let's get on out of here.
Wait, don't go. Somebody sent in a Streamlabs.
Oh, they did? All right, here, let me take a look. Oh, Christine. Sorry, Christine. Thank you. She said, hi, guys. You have made me more excited about seeing In the Heights. I'll be watching it this weekend. Oh, great. Also, Wendy, will you be watching BTS Muster? It would be a good gateway for John to see BTS in their domain and with less calories. Love the show. All right. Wendy?
BTS Muster, is that the new show?
I guess so.
Oh my gosh. I mean, look, if I can get in, fantastic. If I can't and they can do like a stream, it's online.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to try. I'm going to try really, really hard.
I'll let Wendy try, then she'll tell me, and I might give it a shot. That's for sure.
And I'm gonna force you to listen to BTS and Stray Kids and Blackpink.
Okay. I put on BTS Butter the other day, and my girlfriend was like, "What the hell is this?"
It's so good. It's like the perfect summer jam.
She already thinks I'm a 14-year-old girl. All right. Thank you all so much. And please remember to hit that like button down below as well, and leave a comment. Comments and likes help the visibility of this show. All right, that's enough. We're out of here. Much love to you. Take care of yourselves. Be well. Have a great weekend. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.
Bye, everyone.